Welcome to this 21 CLD course on skilled communication. This course focuses on what we mean by skilled communication and how we can plan opportunities for students to develop the type of communication skills necessary for living and working in this globally connected world of the 21st century. Let's start with a short video to begin the discussion around what is skilled communication. Today we live in a connected society where the internet is providing us with multiple ways to connect and communicate with people all over the world. The internet and the advent of mobile phones has revolutionised how people of all ages can communicate. In 2014 it was estimated that nearly 75% of all internet users in the world live in just 20 countries. Another interesting fact is that estimates indicate there are over 7 billion mobile phones in the world. Imagine, that's almost one for every person on the planet, and it has only taken 20 years for this to happen. With recent developments such as cloud technology and smartphones, people can now access the internet and engage in multiple forms of communication while on the move. Tools such as email, text messaging and video conferencing are now prevalent in our everyday lives. These powerful tools provide us with new ways to communicate, which are not only more effective, but also more cost efficient. They allow us to communicate in a variety of formats, either asynchronously through text message and blogs, or in real time over the phone by instant messaging or Skype. All we need is a device, an internet connection, and away we go. The explosion in new technologies is constantly creating new opportunities for us to communicate with people all over the world without ever leaving our homes or our schools. These technologies certainly have enormous potential to support skilled communication, and they are placing new demands on teachers to prepare young people to use them appropriately. Unfortunately, all too often these powerful tools are used to engage in low-level chatter where people send single texts or tweets on unrelated topics. In contrast, our young people could use these tools for extended communication to engage in deep conversations about an issue such as global warming. What is more, they don't have to curtail this communication to written words alone. They can also include pictures, audio files or video when discussing issues with an extended community. Such multimodal communication allows them to find a medium that best suits them to communicate their message. For example, younger children might capture their reflections about their favourite story by making an audio recording because they may not have the skills to capture this in writing. Older students might create a video to capture their understandings about a particular play or piece of poetry and post these on a school blog for others to respond to. In this way, technology allows young people to capture and to share their views with an audience that is outside their own school environment. This gives new meaning to the notion of extending the walls of the classroom to link with the outside world. We as educators need to consider how to design appropriate learning activities to engage young people to become effective, skilled communicators. Having viewed the video, jot down a few points of what comes to mind when you think about skilled communication. Having done this, now carry out a search online for skilled communication. What did you find? Were you surprised by anything that your search uncovered? Is what you found consistent with your own ideas? Communication is at the heart of all human interaction. In the 21st century, developing technologies have created new opportunities for communication that have broader reach and fewer barriers than ever before, whether that communication is spoken, written, visual or multimodal, in print or digital form. In contemporary communication, the active process of communication is often seen as being as important as the end product. Nevertheless, digital capture and publication of even informal communications means that those products persist longer and disseminate more widely than ever before. As a result, the need for effective communication is no longer confined to certain disciplines or careers. It is important for students to be able to communicate clearly and persuasively for a variety of audiences in all areas of academic study and in their future roles in future society. This is increasingly important as we now live in a globally connected world, and our students will be working in roles, many of which have not yet been invented, but will demand that people can communicate effectively and efficiently. In this course, we will introduce the rubric for skilled communication. This rubric examines whether students are asked to produce extended or multimodal communication, and whether the communication must be substantiated with a logical explanation, examples, or evidence that supports a central thesis. At higher levels of the rubric, students must craft their communication for a particular audience. Skilled communication can take many different forms. For example, as part of a learning activity, students may have a discussion with a peer over Skype. In this rubric, we don't focus on informal classroom talk, whether face-to-face or electronic. Instead, we focus on activities that require students to articulate their ideas in a permanent form, such as creating a presentation, recording a podcast, writing a document, or sending an email. A performance, for example, a skit or an oral debate, would also be considered in this rubric. We recognise that less formal conversational media are also very important aspects of communication. For effective uses of Skype, they will have to have an outcome related to the learning goals of the activity. For example, do students produce a summary of what they've learned through Skype, or do they build the learning into the final product they are creating? This rubric evaluates the skilled communication requirements of the products or outcomes of the student's work. Take a moment now and think about skilled communication in your own classroom. Can you think of an example of skilled communication among students from your own teaching experiences? We will now begin to examine what skilled communication looks like and what skills are required so that you can plan for the development of these skills. In doing so, we will develop a shared understanding and common language to describe skilled communication. If we know what skilled communication looks like and what skills are required, we can then plan for it. By understanding skilled communication and what we mean by it, we can then design learning activities that target the development of the skills necessary to be a skilled communicator. In this lesson, you explored skilled communication. In the next lesson, we will examine the big ideas in skilled communication.